This is the new Volkswagen Polo, and it's a little bit like the actor from Harry Potter, Daniel Radcliffe. You see, over the years, it's got a bit more chiselled and grown-up looking, but hopefully it's still got the same magic. Now, we'll find out in this review. One thing we've already found out is that my jokes do not get any better with time. So the Polo, it starts from just under £14,000, but as you can see on carwow.co.uk, it actually starts from around 12.5 grand. Now, if you click on the pop-out banner or on the link below the video, you can go to carwow.co.uk to compare offers on new cars. Now, one of the main ways that the Polo has grown up is in terms of interior space. It's actually pretty much the same size on the outside, but inside they've managed to just eke more room out of the cabin. For instance, the boot is around 20% larger than before. Now, you're probably thinking, oh no, look at this, you've got an annoying load lip to lift stuff over. And when you fold the seats down, there is therefore this ridge. Look at that, that's annoying, isn't it? Look, if you want to slide things to the front. But you know, Volkswagen, they think of everything. If you want to, you can pay to upgrade to have this adjustable boot floor. Then it minimises that lip and makes it much easier to slide items to the front. The seats don't lie completely flat, but they get pretty blooming close. So yeah, actually the boot with the seats up is almost as large as the Volkswagen Golfs. Now, the back seats, when you compare those to the previous Polo, they're an improvement as well. You still have the rear seat belts in these nice little runners there, so they never snag on the seats. You don't have to put them in clips like you do in some other cars, so it's just much easier. And when you're in, well, the old Polo was pretty cramped for knee room. This one is actually, look, that's actually all right. A good thing is headroom. Look, I've got plenty. I can put my whole hand pretty much above my head, even when I'm sat up straight. So taller people will be fine in the back of this Polo. Yeah, when it comes to carrying 3 abreast, it's still not great because it is a narrow car, but I've still got enough headroom here. Though this lump in the floor is a bit of a pain to get your leg over. Now, if you want more detail on this car's practicality, such as what it's like with 3 people in the back of it, how easy it is to fit a child seat, and just how much stuff you can cram into the boot, watch our detailed practicality video. Look at this though, door bins in the back can hold a large bottle of water. In the front, it's a similar story. So you've got plenty of practicality here as well. Look at this, the door bins in the front are actually even bigger. Look, although for some reason I'm illustrating that with a slightly smaller bottle. Go figure. There's other practical items around the place. The glove box is a good size here. You have a big cubby there where you can put your phone. This one's actually got wireless charging for a mobile phone, and you've got a couple of USB ports. Now, this particular car is the SEL model, so it's got quite a lot of kit on it. You also get the Discover Pro satellite navigation as well, which is a pretty nice system, and it has things like traffic alerts and stuff like that. Now, this particular car that I'm in here also has the automatic gearbox, and it has the 1 litre turbocharged petrol engine, and the list price is around £19,500, but I plugged this car's details into CarWow, and it came back with an offer of £17,500, which is much better value. But still, I wouldn't have this particular car. I wouldn't have the automatic gearbox. I'd save some money, get the manual, and I wouldn't have this SEL. I get the normal SE because it's pretty much got all the kit you actually need. For instance, you still get this 8-inch touchscreen, and it's all nice and easy to use, intuitive, crisp, clear display. I mean, I do like it. The only thing is it doesn't have satellite navigation, but that doesn't really matter because you have connectivity for your phone, so you can just run the Navi off your phone. And if you click on the pop-out banner in the top right-hand corner of the screen, you can see my in-depth video review on the infotainment system. And one of the key things that the SE does have is this multifunction steering wheel. Now, Volkswagen are very clever. You see, they know that this is the part of the car that you touch the whole time while you're driving it. So they put a lot of money and effort into making this feel as posh as possible, and it always makes the car, as a result, feel expensive when you're driving it. In fact, the whole interior just has, you know, an air of class and quality that you don't get in other small cars. Yes, there are some brittle plastics about the place, but that's to be expected at this price point, and everything does feel solid. And then there's the design. Now, it's not the most exciting design. It's not exactly flamboyant, but if you're spending a lot of time in a car, you don't necessarily want it to be flamboyant. You know, it's functional, it looks smart, and you can change the colour of this bit of dash trim there if you wanted to liven it up a little bit. Now then, it's time for the CarWow 5 annoying things about this car. This little central digital screen is just in black and white, and the graphics are really blocky. It all looks a bit cheap. You get the feeling that Volkswagen is trying to convince you to pay a whole heap extra the glorious widescreen high-definition driver's display. Automatic gearboxes are usually pretty quick off the line, but this auto is actually quite slow to respond. So let's say you sat at the traffic lights, they suddenly turn green, you want to nip ahead, you floor the throttle, wait, and then it finally goes. You can only get the Polo as this boxy 5-door version. That being the case, why the heck has Volkswagen stuck a sexy drawing of a sporty looking 3-door version on the car's owner's manual? That's just teasing. The feeder for the central rear seatbelt just looks horribly cheap and yeah, quite flimsy. I hope I'm gonna put that back. Yeah. The central cup holders are a weird octagonal shape. That means that you can't fit one of these thermos cups in them very easily. Look, it just flops about. Also, there's no specific gap in between the two cup holders for the smaller energy drink, so you have to put it in there and it flops around. It appears that Volkswagen has dropped the ball on this one. Thankfully, this car has plenty of cool features, which helps make up for all this. Here's 5. All Volkswagen Polos come with auto emergency braking, with pedestrian detection as standard. It also scored higher than any other car of its size for adult occupant protection in the Euro NCAP crash tests. The little weights, which keep the string taut for the parcel shelf, are made of rubber and they have these little fins on them so that if they hit the side of the car, they don't really make a noise. You can get the Polo with adjustable suspension so you can make it feel a bit stiffer for a more sporty drive. The central armrest that you can get with this car may look a little bit too short, look, but don't worry, you can extend it. Then it's in the perfect position. Full LED headlights are available, and as you're about to see, they are super bright. Now it's time to hit the road to see what this car is like to drive. The Polo is the consummate all-round small car because it just does everything it needs to very, very well. So it's simple to drive in town. Controls are all very light, visibility is good. I mean, this isn't too much of a blind spot. The seating position is perfect. You've got a decent view at the back window. There's even a large little window at the back, so there's not too much of a blind spot there. Now you can see for yourself by clicking on the pop-out banner or the link below the video to join me for a POV test drive video. Now when you get out on the motorway, the Polo can hold its own there as well. In fact, this is the small car that feels most like a big car, if that makes any kind of sense. So it's quiet, it's comfy, it's really good actually over bumps for a small car. I think it's about as good as a small car can get over bumps. And you can just sit back and relax in the comfy seats and let the engine do the work. And the engines are quite smooth when you're cruising. So don't get the entry-level 1-litre engines because they're just slow. You want one of the turbo 1 litres and they give decent performance. And this is the 125 horsepower version and it's supposed to do, well, 0 to 60 in under 10 seconds and return around 59 miles per gallon, and I'm averaging 46, which it's all right, I guess. Now, when you put your foot down, now you might have heard that. That's the problem with this engine. It's a little bit rough. It's a 3-cylinder unit, and they always are a little bit rough and vibey, but I think this is rougher and more vibey than other 3-cylinder units. That's my only problem with this engine. Now, you might be someone who does loads and loads and loads and loads of miles, in which case you'll probably want the diesel, and there's two 1.6s to choose from, and they should return, according to Volkswagen, about 75 miles per gallon. Though in reality, you're probably looking at around 50. Now, when you go on Twisty Road, the Polo, it's good. It holds the road well, it's sure-footed, the steering's sharp. No, it doesn't feel cheeky to drive and a bit of a laugh like a Ford Fiesta is. Now, you may not care one bit if you want a car to just get you from A to B comfortably and in a relaxed fashion, because this will do that. It just won't necessarily put a grin on your face. You'll have a smile because you'll be happy, but you won't be grinning. But does that matter to you? Probably not. Such is the world of modern motoring. If you want to find out more information on the Volkswagen Polo and to see how much you can save on one, or anything like that matter, click the link below the video or the pop-out button. So then, what's my overall verdict on this car? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I think you should just go right ahead.